Yo, I just finished episode 2 of Lanterns and I'm not gonna lie, it might have saved the DCU. Not gonna lie, when I first heard about the Lantern show, I was excited for it. Like Green Lantern is not a character that I've ever been like super into, like never really watched it growing up, like never really liked the Ryan Reynolds movie, but the character itself is it's a cool character. So when I first heard they were doing a show, I was interested. But then like everyone else, like when we started seeing the trailers and started hearing like the grounded style they were going for, and I was a bit off on it. I was like, well, because I'm kind of over all of this, like trying to make everything super grounded, like, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's comic books, you know what I'm saying? Like that whole grounded era, I feel like that's over with. That was like early 2000s, you know what I'm saying? With like the Dark Knight and all that stuff, it had its time, but we're past that now, you know what I'm saying? So I wasn't really feeling it, but then I saw the more recent trailers, and obviously it was looking better, so I thought, I'll give it a watch, but I still didn't really have any expectations for it like that. But yo, they're delivering, I can't lie. Like the first episode, it was good, like, you know what I'm saying? It got man into it, got me ready for the second episode. But that second episode, that's like the most I've been into a show in a long time recently. I can't even remember the last time I was really into a show like that. Like the mystery aspect to it, I feel like that's the main thing it's got going for itself right now. Because especially for someone like me who's not like super into Green Lantern lore, but then I've even heard they've changed a lot of the lore as well. But like finding out about things as we go along, like Manhunters, hearing about Hal and Sinestro, like these are things that like I just want to find out more about, so it's keeping me interested. I think the dynamic between Hal and John like is sick. Like I rate Aaron Pierre as an actor anyway, so I knew he'd do his job, you get what I'm saying, as John Stewart. And that. Obviously I know John Stewart from the Justice League cartoon from back in the day, so I've always kind of rated that character as well. So seeing the both of them, like their back and forth, their interactions, it makes sense. But Howard Jordan, I can't like he steals the show. Like Carl Chandler, the way how he's playing him is sick, you get what I'm saying? Like the way how like he's a bit of a prick, he's a bit of a, you get what I'm saying? Like he's a bit full of himself, but at the end of the day he knows what he's talking about, you get what I'm saying? Like every intuition that he's had, he's been right so far, you get me? Like thinking the people were aliens, he found out they were, you get what I'm saying? Obviously the Manhunter thing, he wasn't up on that. That's something that John went and found out himself, but even then you saw they told him not to mention it to Hal because they didn't trust him, but he still ended up mentioning it to him because he knew that if anyone needs to know about this, it's him, you know what I'm saying? And then that last scene with Sinestro, like, sick. Like, I can't lie, like, the way how they're keeping it grounded, but then still giving us bits of the lore, still giving us the bits here and there of the Green Lantern ring, and then, like I just said, like, that last scene, like, taking us out to space for the first time, showing us Sinestro. But now to like the main point, what I'm really talking to you about, how it might be saving the DCU. Obviously, we know the DCU has had like a rough start, you know what I'm saying? Like they decided to launch off with the TV shows and stuff, which I feel like once again they were just a bit behind, you know what I'm saying? The same way how the DCEU was behind, so they tried to jump straight into Batman v Superman and catch up to Marvel. Same thing, DCU started off behind, they tried to jumpstart the TV shows and stuff, but they didn't even realize that Marvel and everyone else is kind of pulling back on that stuff, you know what I'm saying? Because it just doesn't really work. Like it can work, but the way how Marvel was doing it didn't work like that. And I feel like that's how DC was like originally planning to do things, by just like flooding a bunch of TV shows about like characters who like nobody really knows or cares about, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's not what we want, you feel what I'm saying? Like I watched Creature Commandos, it was cold, but not a lot of people watched it for that exact reason. But Lanterns is different because like the Green Lantern character is a big character, so to put that on TV and not give them a movie is a risk in itself, but it works. So the DCU had a rough start. Superman was good, overall well received. I rated it. I thought it was a really good movie. But I've seen a lot of people who don't. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people still like stuck on the Snyder version, the Henry Cavill version. But then you follow that up with Supergirl, and obviously I can't even lie. I haven't even watched it properly to this day. I watched bits of it here and there, but it wasn't really catching my attention. And all the stuff I've heard of it, the box office flop as well. It wasn't a good outcome for them, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't the right choice. Like I see how in their heads they felt like the right choice, going from Superman, you introduce her at the end, leading to that. But I feel like it would have been better off giving us a Wonder Woman or even a Batman, even though we don't know what's going on with that. Honestly, that's just the main problem with the DCU right now. They don't have the Marvel problem of not having all their characters to start off with. You get what I'm saying? Like, but they're acting like they have that problem. Like, Marvel, even though Marvel didn't have Spider-Man and Wolverine and all these people, they still started off with the main characters that they had at the time. You get what I'm saying? Iron Man, Cat, Thor, Hulk. They use their main characters. DC's use Superman and then a bunch of randoms. You get what I'm saying? We need to start bringing some of the main players onto the starting lineup. DC was just tweaking with their rollout, like their plan, their beginning, first few phases, tweaking. James Gunn, you know, just going mad. They gave him too much power, too much control. I rate James Gunn, don't get twisted, but he's a madman. You can't just let him control everything and just let him do what he wants to do, because he wants to go and grab all these random characters. You know, you see Guardians of the Galaxy, you see he loves that. That's his thing, taking these characters no one knows about, adding his spin to them. And you know, his spin is usually like some comedy, like, you know what I'm saying, and it works, but it's not too much of it. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the beginning slate of the DCU was just too much of like James Gunn tweaking out. So he needs to kind of pull back a bit and like actually lock in and like understand, yo, we want to see the biggest characters on screen. We need to get that Batman film in production ASAP. You know what I'm saying? We need to get that Wonder Woman film in production ASAP. Flash. You know what I'm saying? Forget all the old DCU. We don't care about that. Don't think we're still thinking about that. We're not. We want to see all these characters again. And the main thing that DC's got going for them right now that Marvel didn't have at the beginning is they've put us into a world that's already established, which is good. I like that. Like, Superman's been about for a few years. Green Lantern's been about. We assume Batman's been about for years. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I like that though, because as long as we don't miss too much and we still get the good stories, and we can find out more as we go along. Like I said, that's one of the best things Lanterns has going for it, because we're finding out as we go along. You get what I'm saying? I feel like the DCU as a whole, that can be the formula. You get what I'm saying? But we're just gonna have to wait and see. Hopefully they don't fumble it. So if I was the DCU, I'd look at the Lanterns as a success, understand that people are fucking with it, but don't start leading into this and thinking you need to keep going crazy with the shows. Obviously they're having the Jimmy Olsen show with Gorilla Grodd. I'm not interested, but I'll probably watch it. You know what I'm saying? I'll see what it's saying. But yeah, don't start going too crazy with the shows just based off the success of Lanterns. But understand people care about these characters, though. People, you get what I'm saying? So if they're going to be a Man of Tomorrow, you know, I think Jon Stewart's going to be a Man of Tomorrow. Make sure he has a big role. You get what I'm saying? Like, but from now on, just focus on bringing the main characters on the bench. If anything you want to take from this is that, you know what I'm saying, we want to see the main characters. We want to see the Lanterns. We want to see Batman. We want to see Wonder Woman. All of that, you know what I'm saying? So that's the main message that I think DC needs to take from this. But yeah, it's just a quick one today. Obviously, I just finished watching episode 2 and like it was that good. I just felt like I had to make a video about it. And I've been thinking about the DCU for a while as well, and like where they're gonna go from here. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like the Lanterns just give them the right boost that they need. So yeah, you lot already know the drill. Like, subscribe, comment, all of that. I appreciate everything. You get me? Obviously, Roll the Dice Talks out. Till next time.